Okay, number 3, we're going to consider the following formulas. We have f of x is x cubed plus 1, and g of x is the cube root of x. We want to find f divided by g of x. So we got two parts here. So f divided by g of x. So f goes on the top, which is x cubed plus 1, x cubed plus 1, and then on the bottom is the g equation, which is going to be the cube root of x. And per the last example, they did not want us to simplify it, so we're going to leave it like it is. Let's say x cubed plus 1, and then on the bottom we're going to do, where's my cursor, the cube root of x. So this should be part 1, and then part 2 says find the domain for f divided by g of x. So again, like the previous problem, we want to find the domain of f and the domain of g. So the domain of f is just this function, domain of f. So no fractions with just that term, no radicals with even powers, no square root, no logarithm, sorry. So that means that this domain is all real numbers, negative infinity to positive infinity. Domain of g is also negative infinity to positive infinity. However, because we now have this on the bottom, we need to figure out what makes the denominator 0. And the only thing that will make that 0 is if you plug in a 0 here, because 0 here, square root or cube root of 0 is 0. So just like we did before, we have this number line. One is spanning from negative infinity to positive infinity, and the other one is spanning everything except for this number 0. So there's a break between negative infinity and positive infinity here. So when they overlap everywhere except for this 1.0 that's here. So domain of f divided by g equals negative infinity to 0, and then union, because you got this break up to 0 to infinity. So we're just missing that one point. Negative infinity to 0, union 0 to infinity. All right, number 4, we're changing gears. We're going to composition of functions. So this is f of g of 1. Okay, so this is kind of like a double plug-in. Okay, it's like you plug in one answer and you get that answer and you plug it in to the next one. So f of g of 1, f of g of 1. So this means you're going to take the f equation, that's the outer one. In parentheses, you're going to do the g equation, and then in for x in the g equation, you're going to plug in 1. So we start inside, work our way out. So we need to first figure out what is g of 1. G of 1, if we look over here, it tells us that g of 1 is equal to 2. Okay, so now I'm going to replace this. So it's going to be f of, instead of g of 1, we just found out that g of 1 is equal to 2. So now we're looking at f of 2. So you would plug in this number, get an answer, get that answer and plug it in to the other equation. So now we're looking for f of 2. And f of 2 up here just shows us negative 10. So it already has everything done for us. We don't actually Don't actually have to solve anything. That's negative 10. And then we're good.